Content creation helps people discover your brand, business, services, or products. It also helps you attract, engage, and build relationships with prospects and clients. Basically, content creation brings new eyes to your website and will ultimately generate revenue. So if you aren't creating content on a regular basis, you're definitely getting left in the dust of your competitors who are. Hello and welcome to another episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. I'm your host, Jennie Lyon, and today I wanted to talk about 6 successful ways that you can batch your content creation, which is not only going to save you time, but money. Let's jump into it. So wouldn't it be great if you could finish all of your content creation without ever breaking a sweat and without feeling like there just aren't enough hours in the day? Well, believe it or not, with content batching, that dream can become a reality. Batching is an incredibly powerful tool and a very powerful way to streamline your workflow while producing really high quality pieces of content. So whether you're a business owner who's looking for ways to free up your time, an entrepreneur trying to find new ways to stay productive, or you simply need more effective methods of creating content, let's dig into these 6 successful ways that you can batch that content. So first up, what is content creation? Well, content creation is the process of generating topic ideas that will appeal to your ICA, your ideal client avatar. This content usually falls into several different categories, such as a blog, a podcast script, video, infographics, posts, or other forms of content. Why is content creation important? Well, the number one reason that content creation is important is because it's a great way to utilize inbound marketing into your business. So you're providing your audience with free, valuable, and actionable content that gets them one step closer to their desired goal. Content creation is the perfect way to attract your ideal audience, engage them, and convert them into paying customers. So content creation equals growth for your business. So what type of content should you create? Well, whenever I start to work with a new client, I always ask, what type of content are you creating on a weekly basis? And either they have a certain type of content that they're creating, or they look at me with a blank stare on their face. Either way, I always recommend that my clients either have a weekly blog, a weekly podcast, or a weekly video. All of these different types of platforms are perfect for educating, inspiring, and engaging your audience. And guess who else likes them? Google. So first things first, let's talk a little bit about blogging. So blogging is definitely worth the time and effort, as it can easily become one of your most effective content strategies. So I always recommend, if you're going to do blogging as your weekly piece of content, to start by outlining what type of blogging content are you going to create. So a lot of times that's where people get stuck. So I say, are there particular questions that you get asked a lot from potential clients or your current clients? Those type of questions can be an excellent foundation for your blog. So for example, when creating this piece of content that I'm recording for you right now, I started with a question that I get asked all the time by my clients, which is, how can I create a lot of content at one time? Next up is podcasts. So podcasts have a huge audience, and they're a really fun way to engage. And if you're thinking to yourself, I don't even know what I would talk about on a podcast, then I always tell my clients, you want to start with your professional experience. So your audience is going to be listening to you because you know something that they don't. So start by offering insights and sharing advice that you think they can apply themselves. And then last but not least is video. So video is another area that if you aren't utilizing in your business, you definitely need to jump on the bandwagon or you are going to get left behind. So last week I talked about the importance of having a video content strategy, and you can learn more about that at jennylyon.com/video content. And I had a freebie for that as well that you can grab at jennylyon.com/video. But video content is becoming more and more popular, with both short form and long form video having a place within your content marketing strategy. And studies show that video generates a lot more leads than other types of content. But whichever one you feel comfortable with, I always recommend starting there. Some people feel really confident in writing, so blogging, that makes sense. If you are a natural on camera, then go with video. And if you love to talk, then go with a podcast. But once you've decided what type of content you're going to put out each week, then it's time to create it. Easier said than done, right? And that's okay. We're going to talk about how to batch that content, which is going to save you time, but we have some tips about how it can save you money as well. So first things first, you really have to define your content strategy. You need to identify what topics you want to cover and set measurable goals for those pieces of content. So in order to create an effective content strategy, it's really essential that you have a well-defined plan on how you want to communicate with your target audience. So you need to make sure that your strategy includes which topics you want to cover, what type of goals you're looking to achieve with each of those pieces of content. Once these goals have been established, it's easier to measure the effectiveness of your content and then create more content going forward that has higher engagement. So consider starting with an editorial calendar, and I'll link to ours in the show notes, but you can download it for free at jennylyon.com/content calendar and use it to ensure consistency and to continue delivering valuable content to your readers. With a clear content strategy and manageable goals in place, you can easily build an engaged audience for your brand in no time. Next up is to research your topics. So you want to spend time researching which topics are going to work for your audience. And content creation is really that cornerstone of your overall marketing plan. And research really does need to play a crucial role in that process. By taking the time to research the topics that you want to cover, you really ensure accuracy as well as adding new perspectives, stories, facts, details that can really make a difference in the content that you're putting out. So doing so also gives you insights and ideas for copy that's creative and interesting for readers, and it makes it more likely that they're going to engage with the content that you publish. So you want to make sure that you really keep that in mind. So whether you do all of the work yourself or you outsource part of it to experts, really taking the extra steps to put quality over quantity is really going to pay dividends in creating better overall content in the future. So next up is you'll have to outline each of the pieces of content. So you want to create an outline for each of your blog posts, your podcast scripts, your video scripts before you actually start that writing process. And a great content plan should always really involve creating that outline first, since this is really going to serve as the roadmap that will help ensure that that finished piece of content stays on track. It covers all of the necessary information. So you want to make sure it includes things like your topic ideas, your subheadings, questions to answer within each section, any facts or research that you want to cite to make the post really powerful. But it's also a good idea to jot down any links or further reading once you've outlined the article. Once you have that finalized, you're really going to be ready to start writing and really create some amazing pieces of content right out of the gate. So going back to creating a content calendar, you really do want to create that and stick to it. So I live by my content calendar. I usually will fill out my content calendar, usually each quarter, because I really like to look and see what type of content is working and what's not working. So I never sit down and do the entire year at once, but I do it quarter by quarter. And I really set a date and time to write, to really help to build discipline and boost productivity and really inspire creativity so that I can batch my content in a really quick way. And creating a content calendar and sticking to it, it's also key to producing consistent, high-quality content. You may have ideas that are flowing through your mind, but without a real plan of action to execute these ideas, you kind of risk that information getting lost in the hustle and bustle of everyday life. So setting real specific dates and times for writing or any other types of tasks that you're going to batch, it can really help you to remain organized. It can keep you on track for deadlines, and it's really encouraged to stay, creative, despite any types of distractions that might pop up. So I always schedule mine right in my calendar. That way, it's just something that I have to do each week. I sit down, I batch it, and I never miss a deadline. And content calendars are not only beneficial in terms of discipline, productivity, and creativity, but they also make sure that your readers get the very best of you. Next up is quality over quantity. So don't sacrifice the quality for the quantity when batching your content creation process. Take the time to produce valuable content that's going to truly engage your readers. You really want to think about how important quality is. Producing a large volume of content means that your audience will have more material to absorb, but sacrificing quality for quantity, it really can backfire on you in the long run. Readers are far more likely to engage with content that has been carefully considered and well crafted. Quality over quantity is really key. You want to take the time necessary to create content that is valuable, informative, and enjoyable for your readers. Not only will this help boost your reader engagement, but it also really ensures that your content stands out from your competitors by delivering a really unique quality of its own. And last but not least is outsourcing all or some of your content creation. So this is something we do for all of our clients. You can utilize a digital marketing team like ours who has content strategists, copywriting experts, graphic designers. We can really take over that entire content creation process. And as any business owner knows, the foundation of success really lies in how much you can get done in your area of genius every day. So choosing to outsource your content creation, strategy, and marketing, not only is that going to save you a lot of time, but it will probably save you a lot of money in the long run. Why? Well, how much is your time worth, right? I'm guessing that when you sit down to create your content, you probably can't bang out, a lot of content in an hour, and even if you can, right, you want to batch more than just one piece of content. You probably are looking to batch a month or 2 months worth of content at once. So if that's something that you don't do on a regular basis, you don't feel like it's really in your wheelhouse, it's not something that you feel like you can really produce quickly, and quality, again, needs to be key there, then that definitely might be something that you want to hand off, because you can really quickly have an entire day or a couple of days eaten up, or you find yourself working on the weekends. I know all about this. And your days really could be better served working on things that only you can do and only you should be doing in your business. And outsourcing your content to a team, it's really been one of the best ways that I've been able to grow my own business year after year. So I know firsthand that it definitely works. All right, so here's my weekly challenge for you. Jump over to jennylyon.com/content calendar and download our free editorial calendar. Then grab a scrap piece of paper and a pen and do a brain dump of all of the questions that you get asked on a regular basis that could become topics for the first quarter or the next quarter of your content. So think about 12 pieces of content. Then look at all of those questions and start to organize them into topics or keywords. Then go back over to the editorial calendar and look at columns C, D, and E within that spreadsheet and take the information that you wrote on the piece of paper and transform that into your blog topics, titles, content description, and keyword. Then use column F to link to other types of content that you could provide within your content. So you want to think of things like a free lead magnet that can extend the value of your content, but also get someone's email address. So for example, last week I did a podcast on video content. And with that, within my blog, my podcast, my video on video content, I created a freebie to show someone how to create their video content strategy. So it was a freebie that people could opt into, leave their email address, and get that delivered right to them. It extended the value of the content that I provided them for free within the blog post by giving them a checklist that they could utilize within their business, which just further moved them through what they're trying to get done, which is create some amazing video. But the best part is once that piece of content went out, I had people reaching out to me, scheduling consults to talk about their video content strategy. So you see how it all ties together. Then you want to decide how many pieces of content you want to create in one batch. So for example, if you want to create 4 blog posts, you need to schedule that into your calendar. And I would say give yourself a 4-hour block to get 4 blogs done. So get writing. When you finish writing and editing your content, go back over to the editorial calendar and update it with the content that you just created, as well as bits and pieces, snippets from that content that you can pull apart and use for other pieces of content, because we never just want to create one piece of content and that's it. We really want to use that one piece of content in as many ways that we possibly can. So we're thinking things like social media posts, email campaigns. You get the idea. And then last but not least, smile, because you have just finished creating the next month's worth of content. Or if you find yourself still struggling, or maybe after the 4 hours you have maybe one piece of content, or you just you've got writer's block, right? You weren't quite sure how to make it happen, then please schedule a free call. Let's just chat about your content strategy. Maybe we can help you. You can always schedule a call at jennylyon.com/chat, and we'll be happy to talk about taking some parts of your content marketing strategy off of your list, or maybe all of it. But content creation, it's really an ever-changing process that really does require strategy, organization, and discipline. By setting goals, researching your topics, outlining your pieces, and building a content calendar with all of these important components, you can really create a content strategy that's going to work for you. Just don't forget, quality is more important than quantity, and quality is heavily weighted compared to quantity. So make sure that whatever type of content that you're putting out, you're providing real value that your readers can use, that your readers can put into action today, and that's going to move your audience one step closer to their goals. And it's okay to start at a slower pace as long as it yields informative content. So utilize these tools for organizing, for creating your content, and you are going to be ahead of your competition in no time. Well, that's what I have for you on this week's episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. I hope you found it helpful. We would absolutely love to hear from you, and we always love hearing from our listeners. What types of topics are you enjoying from us? We would love to hear more. So please, if you'd like to shoot us a message, you can find us everywhere at Jennie Lyon Digital Marketing. And if you like, we would absolutely love if you'd leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. And we'll see you next time on another episode of Digital Marketing Made Simple. See you soon.